My wife said she wouldn't be long at the party. I trusted her, but she never came home. Trust is a funny thing. You don't realize how fragile it is until it shatters in your hands. My name is Ethan, and up until a few months ago, I thought I had a solid marriage. Jessica and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5. I wasn't naive. I knew relationships took work, but I never expected this. It all started with a simple promise. Jessica had been invited to a small get-together with her co-workers. Nothing extravagant. She assured me she'd only stay for a couple of hours. I wasn't the jealous type, so I kissed her goodbye, told her to have fun, and settled in for a quiet evening. Midnight came. No sign of her. I sent a text. Hey, everything okay? No response. An hour passed. Then 2. I called. Straight to voicemail. That's when the first pang of unease hit me. Jessica never ignored my messages, unless she was somewhere she wasn't supposed to be. By 3 a.m., I was wide awake, my mind spiraling. I wasn't the type to panic, but instincts don't lie. I tried calling again. This time, it rang. She picked up on the 3rd ring, her voice groggy, like she'd just woken up. Hey, babe. I fell asleep at Lisa's place. I didn't want to wake you. Jessica had never crashed at a friend's place, not once in all our years together. And if she had, she would have told me first. Something was wrong. I kept my voice calm. Where you now? A pause, a hesitation. Then, still at Lisa's, I'll be home soon. I wanted to believe her. I really did, but my gut told me otherwise. She finally came home at 7 a.m., reeking of alcohol and something else. Something faint, but unmistakable. Cologne, not mine. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted to be sure. I wanted proof. Because if I was right, if the woman I had built my life around had betrayed me, then I needed to do this the right way. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to plead. If she had cheated, she was going to regret it. Jessica walked through the door, disheveled, smelling of alcohol, sweat, and another man's scent, yet she acted like nothing was wrong. She kissed me on the cheek, mumbled something about needing a shower, and disappeared into the bathroom. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at my untouched coffee, my mind racing. I could have stormed in, demanded the truth, but that's not how I operate. I don't accuse without proof. No, I wasn't do this smart, because if she thought she could play me for a fool, she had another thing coming. While she was in the shower, I checked her phone. It was locked. Not surprising. A few months ago, she'd started taking it everywhere, even to the bathroom. If I so much as reached for it, she'd tense up. I didn't need her phone. Instead, I checked our phone bill. And there it was, a number I didn't recognize. Dozens of calls and texts. Some late at night. I copied it down. It wasn't proof. Not yet. But my gut told me I was onto something. Jessica emerged from the shower looking refreshed, guiltless. She smiled as she poured herself a cup of coffee. Sorry about last night, she said casually. I didn't mean to stay out so late. Lisa and I just got to talking, and before I knew it, I passed out on her couch. I studied her. She didn't even flinch when she lied. I nodded, playing along. Yeah? What were you two talking about? A split-second hesitation. Then, oh, work stuff. Some drama with her boss. Lie. Lisa didn't have a boss. She ran her own business. Lie number 2. I didn't call her out. Not yet. Instead, I wrapped my arms around her waist, kissed her forehead, and whispered, I missed you. She stiffened, just slightly. Then she relaxed into my touch. But I had her now. And that's when I knew a wife who was loyal, who had nothing to hide, would have melted into that embrace. But Jessica, she had to think about it first. That hesitation told me everything. I wasn't going to wait around for her to come clean. That afternoon, I called Lisa. Hey, it's Ethan. Just wanted to thank you for letting Jess crash at your place last night. Silence. Then, what? Bullseye. I kept my voice light. Yeah, she told me she stayed at your place. Said you guys were talking about work stuff. Lisa hesitated. I could practically hear the gears turning in her head. Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, I just woke up. brain's not working yet. I heard the tension in her voice. Either Jessica had put her on the spot, or Lisa had no clue what I was talking about. Either way, I had her. Anyway, I said, "Just wanted to check in. Take care, Lisa." She muttered a quick goodbye and hung up. I leaned back in my chair, exhaling slowly. Jessica was lying, and now I was pissed. But I wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. I want to catch her in the act. The truth in her hands. I started with a mystery number. A quick search gave me nothing. But I had another idea. That night, while Jessica slept, I took her phone and used her fingerprint to unlock it. She'd been careful lately. Extra careful. But she was too deep in her own lies to see what was coming. And there it was. A message thread with the mystery number. Jessica. Can't stop thinking about last night. I swear, Ethan has no idea. Mystery number. Told you, babe. We're careful. Jessica, I just hate sneaking around. I wish I could just be with you. Mystery number. Then leave him. Jessica, not yet. I need more time. I stared at the screen, my pulse hammering. She wasn't just cheating. She was planning to leave me. But on her terms. I clenched my jaw, blood boiling. Jessica thought she had control. Thought she could lie, manipulate, and plan her exit while keeping me in the dark. She had no idea what was coming. Turning the tables. I wasn't going to sit around like some heartbroken fool. No, I was going to be the one to walk away. But not before making sure she paid for what she did. I took screenshots of everything. Every text. Every call log. Every late-night confession to her mystery lover. Sent them all to my personal email. She wasn't going to spin this in her favor. Next, I found out who the mystery man was. A reverse phone lookup gave me a name, Ryan Carter. Co-worker. Typical. Jessica had always been friendly with him. But I never suspected anything. Now I realize why she started working late more often. And it got worse. After a little digging, I found out Ryan wasn't just some fling. He was married. This changed everything. Jessica wanted to keep this affair quiet. I wasn't going to let that happen. The setup. First, I called Lisa. She answered on the second ring. "Ethan, hey, listen, about earlier." I cut her off. "How long have you known?" A pause. Then a sigh. "I swear, I didn't want to be involved in this." Jess put me in a really shitty position. She told me if you ever asked, I should just say she was with me. My jaw clenched. "And you just went along with it?" Lisa sounded genuinely guilty. I didn't know how deep it was until recently. I thought maybe it was just flirting. But then she told me. She hesitated. She told me she was thinking about leaving you. So she really had been planning this for a while. She wasn't just cheating. She was setting up her escape. I kept my voice cold. "Thanks for telling me, Lisa." "Ethan, I know you're mad, but don't do anything crazy." I hung up because crazy was exactly what I was about to do. The execution. First, I printed out the texts. Dozens of them. Then, I mailed a copy to Ryan's wife. If he thought he could play the perfect husband while sneaking around with my wife, he was dead wrong. Next, I scheduled a meeting with a divorce attorney. This wasn't going to be some emotional argument. It was business. I wanted everything planned before I made my move. Then I waited, because timing is everything. A week later, the stage was set. Jessica was still acting normal, still playing the loving wife. But I saw through it. Every kiss felt fake. Every "I love you" was a rehearsed lie. So one evening, I told her I had to work late. She didn't hesitate, didn't ask questions, just smiled and said, "Don't work too hard." That's how I knew. She was planning to see him. What she didn't know, I had installed a tracker on her phone. Checkmate. The moment I left the house, I parked a few blocks away and watched her location. Within 20 minutes, she was on the move, straight to Ryan's apartment. Caught. I gave her an hour. Then I sent her a message. "Hope you're having fun with Ryan. By the way, I sent your text to his wife. You might want to head home before she gets there." I imagine her face when she read it. The panic. The fear. She called me 5 times in a row. I didn't answer. Then she texted, Ethan, I can explain. Please don't do this. We need to talk. I didn't respond. Instead, I turned off my phone, drove home, and by the time she got back, the locks had already been changed. She was in full-blown hysteria, banging on the door and screaming my name. Ethan, please. Let me in. I opened the door just enough to meet her tear-streaked eyes. Then, in the calmest voice I had ever used, I said, "We're done, Jessica. You made your choice. Now live with it." And with that, I shut the door in her face. I never looked back. Jessica had spent months playing her game, sneaking around, feeding me lies, and planning her exit while keeping me as her backup. But she never expected me to be the one to walk away first. That night, after I locked her out, she stayed outside for almost an hour. She screamed, cried, and begged, going through the whole performance. At one point, she even tried calling Lisa, probably hoping she'd take her in. But Lisa wasn't answering. Why? Because I had already sent her the text. Jessica wasn't just losing me. She was losing her friends, too. Eventually, she left. I didn't care where she went. She wasn't my problem anymore. The next morning, I woke up feeling lighter than I had in months. No more lies. No more pretending. But for Jessica, the nightmare was just beginning. Ryan's wife got the envelope. I knew because she called me. "Ethan, I just got something in the mail. Please tell me this is a joke." I kept my voice steady. "I wish it was." Silence. Then that son of a... Apparently, she had suspected something but never had proof. Until now. And once she had it, she wasted no time. She kicked Ryan out that night and blasted his affair all over social media. And since Jessica was his affair partner, her name got dragged into it, too. By lunchtime, half of her office knew. By the end of the day, she was getting icy stares and whispered conversations behind her back. Of course, Jessica wasn't the type to take this quietly. That evening, she showed up at my door, eyes red and puffy, trying a different tactic, calm, remorseful, full of fake regret. "Ethan, please. I know I messed up, but can't we just talk?" I let her talk, not because I wanted to forgive her, but because I wanted to hear how far she'd go to manipulate me. It didn't mean anything. I was confused. "I still love you. We can fix this." I almost laughed in her face. Instead, I leaned against the doorframe and said, "You don't love me. You love having a safety net. And now that it's gone, you're panicking." Her eyes flashed with something. Anger, frustration, maybe even fear. She realized I wasn't falling for it. And then she pulled the classic cheater move. She tried to shift the blame. "If you had just been more affectionate. You were always so busy with work. We lost our spark." I cut her off. "So instead of talking to me, you spread your legs for another man?" Her face turned red, part embarrassment, part anger. "You're being cruel." I smirked. "No, Jessica. You were cruel. I'm just making sure you face the consequences." I stepped back inside and shut the door. For the second time in 24 hours, I left her standing outside, realizing she had lost. I didn't wait. The next morning, I sent her the divorce papers. I wasn't interested in revenge through a messy court battle. I just wanted her gone. No alimony. No second chances. Just gone. No long, drawn-out legal battles. Just a clean break. She didn't fight it. Maybe she thought she could still fix things. Or maybe she was just exhausted. Either way, she signed, and just like that, our marriage was over. Brian lost everything. His wife took the house, the car, and most of the savings. His reputation at work was ruined. And Jessica? She got what she deserved. She became the office homewrecker, the one people whispered about. Friends distanced themselves. Eventually, she quit her job. As for me, I moved on. And let me tell you, there is nothing more satisfying than watching the person who betrayed you destroy themselves while you build yourself back up. Jessica thought she could manipulate me, thought she could walk away on her terms. But in the end, I walked away first, and I never looked back. People say time heals all wounds. I disagree. Time doesn't heal. You do. Time only gives you the space to decide whether you'll drown in your pain or use it to build something better. Jessica's betrayal could have broken me, could have turned me into a bitter, miserable man. But I refused to let her win. She had already taken my trust. She wasn't going to take my future, too. So I did what I had to do. I rebuilt. After the divorce, Jessica's life spiraled. She moved in with a friend because she couldn't afford her own place. Ryan had promised her a future. But surprise, surprise, he wanted nothing to do with her after his wife divorced him. He lost his house, his money, his kids. And Jessica? She was just a mistake he wanted to forget. The friends who once admired her, they disappeared. The job she once loved, she quit because the whispers and side eyes became too much. And me? I was too busy winning to care. The first thing I did was focus on myself. I hit the gym harder than ever. Every rep, every mile on the treadmill. It wasn't just about fitness. It was about proving to myself that I was in control again. I reconnected with old friends. Jessica had isolated me without me even realizing it. But now I surrounded myself with people who actually cared about me. I threw myself into my work, not just surviving, but thriving. I got promoted, traveled more, picked up new hobbies. And the best part? For the first time in years, I felt free. You'd think after everything, Jessica would have just let it go. But cheaters hate consequences, and they hate seeing you happy without them. A few months after the divorce, she reached out. Jessica, hey, can we talk? Me, about what? Jessica, I miss you. I hate how things ended. Me, things ended the way they were supposed to. Jessica, I've changed, Ethan. I made a mistake, but I still love you. I laughed when I read that message. Not out of anger, not out of pain, just pure amusement. It was pathetic. Jessica didn't love me. She loved the idea of me. The security, the comfort. Now that her life was in shambles, she wanted her safety net back. But I wasn't a backup plan. So I sent her one final message. Me, Jessica, the woman I loved died the moment you betrayed me. I don't hate you, but I'll never want you back. Take care. That was it. No more messages. No more drama. I blocked her and never looked back. Fast forward to now. I'm in the best shape of my life, both mentally and physically. I met someone new, someone genuine. She doesn't lie, doesn't manipulate, doesn't play games. She's everything Jessica pretended to be. But the best part? I don't need her to be happy, because I built my happiness myself. Jessica thought she was playing a game. In the end, she lost. And me? I walked away a winner. If you're reading this and going through betrayal, let me tell you one thing. Don't waste time trying to fix someone who chose to hurt you. Walk away. Focus on yourself. Build the life they'll regret losing. Because the best revenge? Winning without them. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a comment and hit the like button. Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear your perspective.